Another day of bad graphics. With that said, at least I am sitting here. But we're going to get into Lions news. We're going to get the video that you want. I apologize. This week has been brutal. We're going to talk about it. Let's go. If you're a Lions fan, subscribe to the channel. Why is that? Because you can hear me complain about my back. My back, just like in Spider-Man, my back. That's what's going on here, folks. I really do apologize. I couldn't sit in a chair yesterday. I couldn't even make a video. It was that bad. I'm sitting in a chair right now trying to gut through it. So we're going to go as fast as humanly possible. I swear to you on everything that I know, as soon as this back is feeling any sort of better, and it gives in a little bit, I'm going to get back to the graphics, get back to you to the better content, more of the videos, all of that lovely stuff, I promise. But we're going to get into today's video, and it's primarily talking about OTAs, Frank Ragnow. In this case here, we got SI.com doing a 53-man roster projection after, obviously, the Frank Ragnow and OTAs situation. I honestly have not gone through this. I don't know who's on the list. So let's go ahead and get this together. By the way, the reason I'm mismatching right now is because my back hurts, right? Looking like Boo-Boo the Fool. Let's go ahead and get in here. They got quarterbacks. Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker, Kyle Allen out. Yeah, duh. I'm with here. Well, my guy, Doc. We're 100% agreement here. This idea that, you know, a lot of people are talking about that Kyle Allen's going to come in here and misplant and all that. I didn't think that would be the case. I've been saying Hendon Hooker's the QB2 for a while. Why would you do such of a thing? So it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Again, in the comments, go ahead and let me know. What quarterback do you have as QB2? We know Goff's going to be, but who's QB2? Let's see what you think. All right, running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, and Sione Vaki. That's exactly what I would do. There is no way. I don't even, like, he's got Robichaud, he's got Tyrus, all that. I just don't see that happening. Unless there's injuries. Injuries is something different, but right now that is your 4. We got Vaki last year, special teams, and he can help. The Lions are good in the run game. This is an exceptional spot for the Lions run game. There's going to be no question marks there. Wide receiver. They're going with 6 here, 6 or 5. You usually got St. Brown, J-Mo, Tim Patrick, Kalif, Isaac, TeSlaa, and Dominic Lovett. Ronnie Bell, Jacoby James, Tom Kennedy, Jackson Meeks, and Malik Taylor all out. So this would be 4 or 5. He decided to go with, 4 or 5 or 6. Decided to go with 6. And that was giving Dominic Lovett in there as at some point that would be the Kalif Raymond replacement. Will they go 5 or 6? That's what we don't know. If they go 6, is it going to be Jackson Meeks or Dominic Lovett, right? If they go 5, then we already know who the 5 is going to be. It's pretty self-explanatory. The question will be, is it going to be 5 or is it going to be 6? That's what we don't know at the minute. Tight ends, they're going 3 here. Sam LaPorta, Brock Wright, and Shane Zylstra. I actually will disagree on this one. I like Shane Zylstra, but they brought in a lot of tight ends for a reason. Kenny Yeboah, he's more of the blocking tight ends. Maybe they want to go to that route. So I'm going to switch out Kenny with Shane Zylstra. Still 3 tight ends is what I would go with, 100%. No disagreement with the doc there. This is a little disagreement. But I would put Yeboah a little bit above. What do you guys think? Let's continue on. Offensive line, they're going to go with 10 here. Graham Glasgow, Tate Ratledge, Christian Mahogany, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Tristan Collin. Interesting. Dan Skipper, Miles Frazier, Giovanni Manu, Kayode Awosika, Jamarco Jones out, Colby Sorsdale, Michael Neese, Mason Miller, Natane Muti, Kingsley Aguakin. I don't have a problem with that one. That's Tristan Collins, the one that we just signed, right? The center. And I could see him making the team compared to a Michael Neese or a Kingsley Aguakin. The turnover in the offensive line in here, I haven't even read what he said, but it says we're turnover on the offensive line has been apparently big. It's been big. It's big. We got 3 new starters. Mahogany, we don't know the center, and we don't know any of them. We just know Ratledge is going to be in there. Graham's going to be in there. We know Mahogany's going to be in there. Miles we don't know. So 10 here, I have no doubt that would be it. I'm not going to have a problem with that. If they didn't bring in Kalif Colon, it would probably be like a Kingsley Aguakin. That would be in that spot. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Big loss though with Frank the Tank. Defensive line, they're going to go with DJ Rader, yes. Ray Lopez, yes. Levi, yes. Talik Williams, yes. Makai Wingo, Pat O'Connor, out. Miles Adams, Keith Cooper, Broderick Martin, Chris Winton, Raquan Williams, Pup, Lee McNeil, 100% agree. Everything that I heard about Broderick Martin, he's not making the team. I've been hearing this for a long time. All points indicating that. You don't bring in Roy Lopez and all of that lovely stuff. Obviously, you drafted Wingo. And it's the writing's on the wall when it comes to Broderick Martin. So when anyone gets mad about Hendon Hooker, just bring up the Broderick Martin thing. Now, if they're mad about both, we can occur. But one gets more heat, I feel like, than the other. And the Broderick Martin one was the worst selection out of all of them. What is the worst selection, do you think? The Hendon Hooker one or Broderick Martin? I'm not saying the player, the selection. One was traded, one was just selected. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's continue on here. The edge. Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Joshua Pascal, Ahmed Hassanin. He says, out is Al-Qadim Mohammed, Mitchell Agood, Nate Lynn, Isaac Ukwu. I disagree here. Al-Qadim Mohammed, I think, will make the team. If you're just going to go with those four, that would be an absolute. That would be it. 4 edges. I'd have a problem with that. Literally 2 of those guys are injury prone. 2. Davenport and Pascal. The other one is a 6th-round pick. And the other one just got off major surgery. Al-Qadim Mohammed should be on this team. And I 100% believe he will be on the roster for the 53-man roster. If they did this, at this point, I would be losing my patience. They just don't care about the edge position whatsoever. You gotta have more than that. Let's continue on here. Linebacker: Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, Grant Stewart, Zach Cunningham, Trevor Nowaski. Out. Deron Gilbert, Anthony Pittman, Zeke Turner, Pup, Malcolm Rodriguez. No argument there. 100%. That's perfectly fine. Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes. Pretty damn good linebacker core. And I heard Grant Stewart's actually doing a lot better than a lot of people think. He could be a better pickup than we expect. So that linebackers are looking good. Looking good. Hold on a second. Next. Cornerbacks. We have 5. Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, Ennis Rakestraw, Meek Robertson, Khalil Dorsey. Out Stanley Thomas Oliver and Rock Ya-Sin. That'd be interesting if Rock Ya-Sin didn't make this squad, but that Khalil Dorsey was loved by this football team, and but the injury rights. So we'll see. But I think that's perfectly fine. I think that maybe you could switch one out, but man, the secondary is pretty solid. You'll get through. It's pretty solid roster. Safety's the best. Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Avonte Maddox, Dan Jackson. Not going to argue about that specialist. Hogan Hatton, Jack Fox, and Master Jake Bates. That is the roster. I can't argue with most of any of it. It's going to be an easy 53-man roster this year, folks. We may not get one or two players right, but this is going to be an easy 53-man roster. Now let's get into this next one here. It says, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he had a procedure done on his knee. I made a video about it. I'm not even really concerned about it. Says, I had surgery on my knee after the season, just clean stuff up, St. Brown said on Thursday, but I should be good to go for training camp, and yep. But he talks about it's Super Bowl or nothing, St. Brown on the Detroit Lions. Finally. Super Bowl or bust. Yes, folks, it's Super Bowl or bust. We're not here to be a good team. We're not here to put up good numbers, to get 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins. This team wants to win a Super Bowl. And I love St. Brown putting it out there. A lot of people are afraid. Don't be afraid. Put it out there. Let's go win a Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl or bust. Super Bowl or bust. I know he had that procedure, and I know a lot of people concerned. I've already seen it. Again, I'm not concerned about the procedure. He'll be good to go. He says for training camp, they may take a little bit slow on him, the Lions staff. They're always slow with injuries, and that's the way it should be. With that said, he'll be good. He's good to go. And he is such, even if there's not, reps between him and Jared Goff, obviously new offense, and that takes away from training camp. To say this, we don't even know that's going to happen, right? Are you concerned that St. Brown, Jared Goff? No. If it was a Jameson Williams, if it was a Tim Patrick, if it was other players that maybe the connection's not there as much as you have with a Jared Goff and you have with a player of St. Brown's caliber who practices like crazy. He's a master of his craft. You don't have to worry about it that much. So, but here, I'm not concerned about St. Brown. I'm not. This team, though, losing Frank Ragnow is a downplay, but I was having a conversation on the side here. I'm not saying it's going to happen this year with Tate Ratledge because there's going to be hiccups. He's a rookie. But we lost an All-Pro, but what's to say that Tate Ratledge can't be that good either or be really good, be a high-end player? Right, we got Frank Ragnow. A lot of people were poo-pooing about it. We've talked about it on here. We don't know how these players are going to develop. The more that you draft, you replace players that leave that are all pros. And, so, if you have a good draft, your team's always going to be good. If you have players that you can replace, the team's always going to be good. Yes, this year's taking a step down. Hopefully, because I do think that Tate Ratledge ultimately will be the center. And by the time that the playoffs are hitting, he's pretty good. He's locked in at that point. That's what I'm looking forward to, is the end of the season. The beginning, I think, look, we may not have the greatest record in the world, right? We may not have 12 wins even. Like, maybe we do have 11 wins. Doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. And if all these guys are on the same page about we finish, I'm not too concerned about it. I'm not. So... But, losing players, it sucks. But we got to keep going forward. We got to put trust in Brad Holmes that he can draft, and we got to trust this coaching staff that they can develop. Hank can do his development with Tate and Miles. So we got to expect that. With that said, folks, adios.